Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond, support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. So, you can see right here. S&P 500 Nasdaq closes at fresh record to start the week, helped by AMD gains, and that was the big news this morning. AMD was up 50 $60 this morning and pretty much stayed up all day up until closing. Then we look at fear and greed index. It's sitting at 57. We're still not at extreme greed, but when you look at the market, you will feel like you know, it's at extreme greed. Nobody wants to sell anything. Now, despite all that, Dow was down slightly on the day, 0.14%, Nasdaq going up 0.71%, S&P up 0.36%, and Russell going up 0.40%. 11 sectors. Technology led the way on top, utilities, consumer cyclical, basic materials, industrials, and energy. Stock market map, and you'll see that right here on stock market map. AMD up whopping 24% nearly. Nvidia was down slightly on the day. Google got that breakout from that bull flag pattern. I've been talking about it in my video, up 2%. Meta is up after going down big time. When we played on Meta, it was really fantastic. Up 0.72%. Tesla up almost 5.5%. Amazon up 0.63%. Apple down 0.5%. PLTR also up nearly 4%. Oracle up almost 2%, and Microsoft going up 2.17%. So before we start this video, and I did actually show you guys this before on CRM, and just to give you guys heads up, Bollinger Bands are squeezing. This is a massive play. We saw high volume buying today, and look at the move all the way up to 250. So you got another chance here. You can see that 233 held as a support, and now from that support, this was a fake breakdown. I mean, this thing nearly getting that breakout, and possibly we'll get that breakout very soon because we have some unfinished business on top the gaps, and I think it can easily reach 300 at some point. I'm not talking about tomorrow or this week or the next week, but this is a long-term play. I think we can get to 300 or at least 281 here in this case. So that is why I'm showing you guys, just like Apple stock, just like AMD, this one, just like DDOG, where I mentioned in my video with CRM that that one is breaking out, and it did break out even more today. CRM is the next big thing that is going to break out. You just have to wait for it. Now, let's talk about Apple. It's not getting that breakout, guys. Once again, just going back and forth, a lot of chop. Was down 0.5% today, but we got up to almost 259. We did not take out this high. So I think it's just consolidating. But if you look at my screen, Bollinger Band expanded up to 268. So as soon as we get over 260, it can run up to 268.70, and that would be fantastic. We're closing in at a $4 trillion market cap, and I think that's going to be the headline at some point. Now we get a pullback. It's holding at 256.5. The moving average below that, there will be support at 253, and then look out for 250 and 246 gap fill reversal. Now let's talk about Microsoft, up 2.17%. A lot of people do believe in technical analysis, and they work. They work most of the time. I would say 90, 95, maybe even 98% of the time it works. And we talked about it that Bollinger Bands are squeezing. If this thing crosses 517, you will see 532. And boy, oh boy, did this thing deliver today, guys. Almost there. 531 high for the day, backed off a little bit. It's trading outside the Bollinger Band. So there will be now support at 521, 522. If it falls below that, 517 would be a retest, and that's going to be something to buy into it and playing back up to the upside. Now, if this thing breaks over 532, then it's heading higher. It's not going to stop for anybody. It's going to go up to 538 and much, much higher, maybe even up to that previous all-time high, 555.45 on Microsoft. On Tesla stock, it's up 5.45%. So Tesla was all over the place. It was down, and now you can see this thing is over 432. As a matter of fact, over the 5-day moving average, 445, and now trading at 453. So Tesla This run can continue. Found support at the daily 20-day moving average, which is rising. Right here, it came back last Friday, and now massive run again. Looks like it's heading back up to 465 to even 470, and who knows, maybe even 483. Now to the downside, they're always supported 445, 432, 420, and then we can talk about this gap. Not at this moment. We also have earnings coming up, on the 22nd of this month. On Google, stock is up 2%. So this was the bull flag pattern, and we got the breakout today. It's breaking out and looks like it's going up to that 253. Almost was there today. We backed off a little bit. So if this thing clears 253, it's heading back up to 256, 257, and possibly even $265 per share on Google. To the downside, there will be strong support at 247. If it falls below that, then watch out for possibly 238, which I don't think that's the case as of right now. This thing is definitely breaking out of this bull flag unless something happens and we see a deeper pullback. Amazon stock is up 0.63%, but look at the move here on Amazon all the way down to 216, almost touching this support level, but then dip buyers came in and bought up the dip and back up to almost 222. So Amazon here, you can see we did close over 220, the 5-day moving average. So if this thing continues with Prime Day, it can possibly go up to 224. And only over that, you're going to see a retest of these negative sloping 20 and the 50-day moving average, which is sitting just over 226. If we can clear all that with a maybe gap up or something, it's heading back up to the upside and possibly will go on and make brand new all-time highs. Now 220 breaks, this thing will come back down to 215, and then this gap comes into play to the downside, 210.39 on Amazon. On Meta, it's a 0.72%. So I'm not going to show you guys what I played on Meta. Right here today, once again, we sold those calls last week, the ones that we got in right here, right up here on Friday, at $730. And this thing came back. We did close that gap right down here at 707. It got under 700, and boy, oh boy, pretty much near the bottom. We took these calls 725 on Meta, and this thing exploded. I mean, you can see the move from 690 up to 716. That is a huge 25 plus dollar move. Now, we did not catch entire 25 bucks, but 20 bucks on Meta that we got was fantastic. And you can see we got a hammer type candle. So if this thing breaks out over 718-ish right here, it has room. That would be a breakout from this downtrend. It can run up to 738 and possibly even higher to 753 to retest these moving averages. Now, if this is just a dead cat bounce, you're not gonna get any breakout, then watch out for the next support down here. That would be at 700 flat and then 682 on Meta. On AMD, it's up nearly 24%. So that news came out with OpenAI, and this thing jumped up huge, back up to previous all-time high, and then backed off from there. Now, this was a trade idea that I wanted to short AMD today, especially right up here, but because how Robinhood was down, and I was trying to actually buy on Robinhood, not trying to buy on my TOS, but this thing backed off and the option market was crazy. So if you got actually puts on AMD and you made money, kudos to you. You did really well because it was really hard to get filled on these puts, and it was almost nearly impossible. So I couldn't get in, but people got, I mean, nearly caught a 20 plus dollar move to the downside if you got the right entry. But still, it's looking extremely bullish. We're way outside the Bollinger Band. That's why the thing backed off a little bit. But if this thing somehow comes back, maybe at 186, that would be a fantastic buying opportunity. Other than this, I mean, AMD definitely not something I would chase. If this thing holds over 200, it can go back up to 227 and possibly will go on and make another brand new all-time high. So AMD, not something that I would short right now, not something that I would buy, but watch over 200. If it does not get under 200, you can possibly play it back up to the upside, but it's going to be really risky. So you have to manage your risk, especially when you're buying just over 200. So Netflix finally going up 0.87%, and it's over 1163 and it's holding. We got a hammer type candle. Let's just see if this thing can hold 1163. Then you'll see a move up to 1160, 1170 to this 5-day moving average, and over that it can move up to easily 1200. Now, if this is just a dead cat bounce and we have earnings coming up, this thing does not get over 1170, 1163, it can come back, and it can come back rapidly right down here nearly 1100, and then the next big support would be down here at retest of 1065, this previous high right here on Netflix. So Nvidia stock is down just over 1%, nothing big, but look at what's happening here, guys. I mean, this was the perfect setup to play it today. What happened? It came slightly under 184, and then this thing reversed and went back up, and it did hold the previous all-time high as a support. So 183 to 184, that's going to be the key zone to watch right here on Nvidia. Only if it falls below that, then watch out for the next big support, which is going to be around 180. As long as it's over 183 to 184, it can possibly go back up to 190 and then 200 on Nvidia. Definitely possible. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.